terms.
Enthusiastic Toastmasters, excited guests, auspicious evening. My name is Rusbi Bashir and I'll be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to the 124th meeting of the Indian Academy Toastmasters Club. Before we start the meeting, I would like to mention 3 ground rules which we follow in our Toastmasters meetings. As Toastmasters, we don't talk about sex, religion, or politics. So please refrain from discussing these topics. Please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. Please turn off your video if you're stepping out of the meeting. Each soul enters with a mission, and we all have a mission to perform. Likewise, our Toastmasters Club also has a mission. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Let me leave you with this small thought, which was quoted by Oprah Winfrey. The biggest adventure you take is to live the life of your dreams. With that, I hand over the stage to our huge supporting pillar, encouraging, most importantly, the coolest president ever, Toastmaster Kavita Raja. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rusbi. According to our founder, Dr. Raj Medley, whatever your grade or position, if you know and when to speak and where to remain silent, your chances of real success are proportionately. So with that, I would like to call this meeting number 124 to order. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all on behalf of our Indian Academy Toastmaster Club. Today, we are going to have a very vibrant session on topic Art of Effective Evaluation by DTM Prince George. Career-wise, he is a logistic and supply chain professional, my all-time favorite field. I welcome you, sir. Today, we are going to have 4 prepared speeches. Before starting the meeting, is there any changes in the agenda? Please raise the proposal of agenda.
TM Kevin Grammarian sent apologies. He has some personal work. So instead of Kevin, TM Renault sir will be the grammarian.
Please, someone seconds the agenda. Propose the agenda.
I, Toastmaster Rinosh, propose the adoption of the agenda with the correction as stated.
Okay.
Someone needs to second.
Toastmaster Raja, I am seconded the agenda.
Thank you. Let's start the meeting by having our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rusbi, who is a student in our Indian Academy, our captain of the ship for the evening, taking us a journey on free. Let us welcome Toastmaster Rusbi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. Hello once again. Okay, so we are all here in Toastmasters following our dreams to reach a goal, right? To find a better version of ourselves. We all would have different answers if I asked what that goal is. It could be time management, improve public speaking skills, better performance at the workplace, and the list goes on. Similarly, our definitions of our life, our goals, aims would be different according to each person, right? Things that make you happy might not necessarily be what makes me happy. It's different according to each of us. Fellow Toastmasters, today I have a task for you all. When I call upon you for the assigned roles, be it introducing your role or to present speeches or anything, answer this question first. What is your aim in life? When do you consider yourself to be successful? It could be a one-word answer or a sentence, however you like it. All good? Okay. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let me introduce to you the general evaluator for today's meeting, Toastmaster Alraj Kuni, who by profession is a database administrator at the Ministry of Finance and National Economy, Bahrain. An alumni of Indian Academy, Bahrain, a Toastmaster since 2016, member of Allied Bahrain Communicators TMC and Voice of Islam TMC, and currently serving as Assistant Area Director Club Growth for Area 21. Toastmaster Alraz, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rusby, for that encouraging and inspirational introduction. As you said, yes, I was an ex-student of Indian Academy. My journey towards my achieving the MSc IT started 15 years back before I joined Indian Academy. I have a habit in my life of always procrastinating things. So after joining for MSc IT in Bangalore, I kept procrastinating that, okay, I'll attend the exam next year. That next year kept happening and it repeated for every year till I reached Bahrain, where I went to Indian Academy and told that I joined this course for almost 15 years back. Now I'd like to complete the course. So they gave me an opportunity. They explained to me what is the procedure I need to do since I had a gap of 15 years. So it was my first experience at Indian Academy where they helped me to complete the MSc IT. And since I got an invitation from Toastmaster Inosh to be the general evaluator of Indian Academy, I was very happy to be your general evaluator. And I wish you all the best. And I'm really happy to be here. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alraz. Next, we have the timer. Toastmaster Rajamanikam, who never fails to spread positivity and smile wherever he goes. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Raja, your mic is muted.
I'm just speaking with two mics, two laptops. Sorry. Yeah, I'm the timer today. Today we have a wonderful section of workshop session. So we have the timings. At the 15 minutes, I will show the green light. At 20 minutes, I'll show the yellow light. And 25 minutes, I'll show the red light. And we have the special speeches, prepared speeches. As usual, most of the other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. Today, we have the joke session. So that is separate. So on that, back to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Next, we have the R counter, the energetic, confident Toastmaster Regina Ismail. Do tell us when would you consider yourself successful in life, and then brief us about your role today. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Good evening, Toastmaster, distinguished guest. As an accounter, it's my responsibility to count speech fillers like us and ums during all speeches and reports on counts at the end of the meeting. So all the very best to all speakers. Over to you, Rusby.
Thank you, Regina. The last one in the triad, the grammarian who help us with our language skills. We have Toastmaster Inosh, who's always supportive and always ready to help us with anything at whatever point of time it is. Our club coach. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rusby. Well, to tell about one thing about my aim is to make people happy and put a smile on their face. I consider myself successful when I see those smiles returning back to me. So the more smiles, the more happiness that comes back is when I say that I am more successful. Coming to my role as a grammarian for today, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage, I will also take note of any improper language, any outstanding words or quotes, sayings that have been used during the meeting. Let me introduce to you all the word of the day, which is skeptical. Skeptical, that is skeptical, skeptical, which means having or expressing doubt. For example, the public were deeply skeptical about some of the proposals. I encourage all the speakers to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also report the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rinosh. Moving
Excuse me,
on.
Ruby. Excuse me.
Yes,
Unintentionally, I couldn't answer your
that's okay.
question. According to me, can I tell?
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Yeah. According to me, the success of life is tension-free life. And I could see the happy faces to all because of me. That's my success in, according to me, that is the success of my life. Thank you.
Inspiring. Thank you, Regina. Okay. Moving on. It's time for the most awaited session since weeks. Evaluating and giving feedbacks has always been a fearful task for me because I don't know how to do that. I'm very much excited for this workshop, and I'm sure you all would be. And we have the best person with us today to help us with that. Prince George DTM is a logistics and supply chain professional managing the freight commercials desk with Agility Logistics Kuwait. He started off his Toastmasters journey in 2011 and is the IP area director of Area 17 and an IP president of Critical Thinkers Club Kuwait. He won the District 20 evaluation contest in 2018, and in June 2020, he captained the Kuwait debate team that won the first ever regional debate contest conference, which was held between Kuwait, Dubai, Qatar, and Bahrain, the Synergized Debate Conference. Currently, he is a mentor for aspiring public speakers and also conducts various debates and evaluation workshops within the GCC region. We heartfully welcome you to IATMC. Prince George DTM, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day. Firstly, I hope I'm audible. Am I very clear? I am. Okay, fantastic. So firstly, happy to be here. Thank you all for mentioning how nice it is to be happy, and that's what we gain in our life. And we've all learned this post the pandemic, that all the materialistic things just vanish. It's just the happiness that remains. So it's all a learning for us, and thank you for bringing that to our notice. Well, I'm here to speak to you today about evaluation, and evaluation is something which is very close to my heart. And since I have been evaluating all the speeches or many speeches through my tenure in Toastmasters and training people on evaluation, it's something which I believe is some like the core essence of public speaking in Toastmasters or anywhere. You know, when you can evaluate a speech to the core, you know the technicals that make up to a great speaker, and you can become a great speaker yourself. So those technicals are very important in public speaking. So before I move ahead, host, yeah, thank you for activating my screen sharing. Please let me know with the thumbs up if you can see my screen. You can? Okay, fantastic, great. All right, so before we move ahead, just a quick question. What do you think is evaluation? So any thoughts are free. Feel free to share your thoughts with us. What do you think exactly is evaluation? Please go ahead, anybody.
Critics.
Feedback.
Critics, okay, all right.
Feedback.
point
else?
To point out positive and negative feedbacks.
Well said. Point out positive and negative feedback. All right. Anything else?
Listen carefully and help give suggestions for the speaker to improve himself.
Absolutely right. Listen carefully and help give suggestions, your feedback for improvement. All right. Very good. So you've got in a nutshell what evaluation is about. I will touch upon the term critic as I move forward in this discussion. All right. So when it comes to evaluation, we are all subject to evaluation throughout our day, from the time we wake up to the time we sleep. You talk about your workplace, you talk about your family, your friends, anywhere you are, people are evaluating you as a person. You're constantly being noticed on how you behave, what you do. So this is evaluation is a part of life. Some people are very happy with you, some people are skeptical about you. Grammarian, please make note, I use the word of the day. So so overall, evaluation is something that happens to you through your day. All right. Now in Toastmasters, what exactly is evaluation? Now, how I would like you to look at evaluation is something what you can see in the picture right now. Can anyone tell me what is it that you feel looking at this screen right now that's in front of you? Any thoughts?
Helping each other.
Helping each other. Well said. So this is a myth that I want to bust for all of you today. We have all been taught in some way or the other in Toastmasters that evaluation is about being critical, like was mentioned by one of you before, by being a critique. And I beg to differ. That's not what evaluation is about. Evaluation is about helping someone, helping someone's self-esteem, helping someone grow up into a better speaker, helping someone in any way that contributes to his or her life to climb the ladder of public speaking. Okay, so look at it as all the pictures like you see. There's always someone behind you who helps you move forward, who propels your journey as a public speaker, and that person is the evaluator. The evaluator is as good as your mentor. Your evaluator is someone who guides you through this path, get you better in what you're doing. So the reason I said I want to bust this myth is because a lot of people feel that, when you have the position as an evaluator, you have the right to come on stage and be critical about someone or keep pointing out mistakes in someone's speech. But that is not the best culture that we must inculcate as evaluators. As evaluators, we must be positive towards someone. We must be empathetic towards the speaker, and we must ensure that by the time we finished our evaluation, the speaker has risen up from ground zero to ground one. That is your objective of the evaluator. And the most important thing, always remember, in an evaluation, if I am the evaluator, I am not the Superman. The Superman is the speaker. Okay, always have this in mind. Always, whatever I say is for the speaker. I am just the person who's going to push the speaker ahead. All right, that's what evaluation is basically about. Now the question is, how do you evaluate? Now for this, I'm going to just quickly take you through certain parts of evaluation. Now, when you evaluate in a club, what do you do before a speech? As an evaluator, it's very important to be in touch with your speaker, the speaker whom you are evaluating. It's very important. So how do you, what exactly do you do during that stage? Is firstly, you speak to your target speaker about the objectives of the speech. Okay, that's very important because the speech is based on the objectives. Now I'm not talking about contests are completely different. I'm talking about your club speeches. You speak about the objectives. Second, and most importantly, something that a lot of us miss out in evaluations is, now, for example, if I have seen, let's say, timer, I can see the timer first on my screen, Toastmaster Raja. Let's say I've seen Toastmaster Raja's speech the previous week or the week before that, let's say the last month. And I realized that I should give Toastmaster Raja some feedback on a certain part of his speech that will help him improve. Okay, so I have this in my mind. If I am his evaluator in the next speech, I should discuss that with him before his speech. And I should say, Toastmaster Raja, as amazing as you are as a speaker, there was one or two things I noticed in your previous speeches, which I want to bring to your notice. Just try to take care of that in this speech and you will do really well. What does that make me? That makes me his well-wisher, right? Because I remember a few things in the past which I've discussed with him. And you can do this before the speech, all right? You discuss these concerns with your speaker, like I just spoke about Toastmaster Raja. All right, now during a speech as an evaluator, what is it that you should do? Most importantly is that you have to be compassionate. I just spoke about that. You have to, like they say, the wearer knows where the shoe pinches. So you have to be the person who wears that shoe also, who tries to understand what is actually going through a speaker's heart before you come up with something critical. So you have to be positive. You have to highlight the most important things that have been done. One of the most important pillars of evaluation is positive reinforcement. This is not highlighted enough, but positive reinforcement is equally important. Now, if someone did not tell me that I am good with evaluation, I would not be here in front of you to give you a keynote on evaluation. Someone told me, right, that I'm good with this. Someone gave me that positive reinforcement where today I believe that, yes, I can do a decent task out of an evaluation training. So it's a positive reinforcement, which is equally important. As much as you point out the corrections, positive reinforcement is very important. Now, when you come to deliver your evaluation speech, it's very important to judge the content and not the persona. Now, can anyone tell me, what do you think this means? You're on mute if you're trying to speak, Toastmaster Raja. Okay, anybody, what do you think is content versus persona? What happens as an evaluator?
What I, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, lifting others to reach in public speaking skills.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say in content versus persona is basically that, when we sit as evaluators and you see someone speaking. Now, what happens when you see someone coming in really well dressed with a sharp tie, shining shoes, great suit, and with confidence? You see the person coming up on stage and you are over the edge. You feel that this is a great speaker, right? But are we too quick to judge? Yes, we are. Because speech evaluations are not about the personality who's speaking. It's about the content of the speech. If you see even the evaluation sheet on which you evaluate, it's purely based on the content of what was spoken, how it was delivered, and things like that. So we should always keep the content aside from the persona. Okay, there could also be something like, a soft corner for a close friend who's coming up to speak. But we have to be very objective with our evaluations always. Okay, so we have to ensure that we go with the content and the delivery and not with the personality of the person who's speaking to give very accurate evaluations. Now, when I say mind versus heart, how many of you have seen America's Got Talent? Has anyone watched that? Yeah, any of you? Okay,
Yes,
some
I
of you have. Okay, you have. Does anyone know who's Simon Cowell?
Yes, one of the judges.
Yes, one of the judges, right? So now let me tell you one episode I've seen of America's Got Talent. So you have Simon Cowell on one side of the judges table, and then on the other end you have a Jennifer Lopez, for example. Okay, so Simon Cowell is a very, very, very critical judge. Now all of you know that, the ones who've seen America's Got Talent. So there was a performer who performed, and after that, Simon Cowell says, "I don't want to see your face ever again. Get out of here." You all can imagine Simon Cowell saying that. That's how tough he is. Okay, he didn't like the performance, right? And on the other end, you see a Jennifer Lopez sobbing, crying, "My God, what a performance!" And crying all over and not able to control her emotions at all. Now tell me, which of them is right and which of them is wrong? What do you feel?
One spoke from the heart and the other one gave something on what the performance was.
Exactly. So one spoke from the heart and one spoke from the mind. But the secret of evaluation, or rather the secret recipe of evaluation, is to draw that balance. You have to, of course, be objective, use your mind, but you have to be compassionate and use your heart as well. So you have to walk that line in the middle where you talk logic, you talk sense, at the same time you speak from your heart. So it always makes your speaker feel that you care about him and you really genuinely want him or her to improve. Okay, so that's very important. Mind and heart balance in evaluation. Okay, constructive feedback. Now, for those of you who are not very familiar with constructive feedback, let me put it this way. If you can see the picture on the screen, you can see some brownies which are topped with a red chili. Okay, and the reason it's like that is because feedback can be given in a very critical form, can be given in a negative form, or feedback can be given only in a positive form, right? Now we find both kinds of evaluations where someone is very critical or someone is just so sugar coated that it's just so sweet, right? Both are not good. Like I said, it has to be a balance, right? So be nice towards your target speaker with those brownies, nice, tasty brownies, okay? But also use the chili on top, because that chili is the part which is going to help your target speaker improve. The brownies are the positive reinforcements that tell the speaker that, hey, you are amazing with this part. Look, you are great with that part of your speech. But the chili is the part which is going to help the speaker climb a notch up. All right. So constructive feedback is what I feel versus what I say, which means that I feel something very critical, maybe, but I put it across in a more delicate manner, but the message goes across. That's very important. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a speaker who stood at the center of the stage throughout. I'm talking about the actual real world, when we stand on the podium. You have a speaker who stood at the center of the stage, not moved at all, just stood at the center of the stage, okay, and given his speech. How would you give that feedback? Anybody, how would you give that feedback to the speaker that he was just standing in the middle and not moving on the stage? How would you do that? Anybody? Anyone, give it a shot. No problem if it's right or wrong. Yes, someone has unmuted yourself. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we will motivate. Your speech is right. Somehow you try to finish that conclusion. Something we have to motivate.
Absolutely right. But my question is, how would you point out, or rather, how would you help the person or the speaker improve on the part where he or she has just stood at the center of the podium without moving around at the podium? So how would you address that in your evaluation?
If you can move here, we can see much expression, so the audience can feel much better. Like that, we can advise.
Yes. So something on those lines, Toastmaster Kavita. That's right. Something on those lines. So what you could also say is that, dear target speaker, you delivered a great speech. If only you would optimally utilize your podium by moving towards the right when you wanted to talk about this specific part of your speech, and when you move towards the left when you spoke about that particular part of the speech, it would connect a little bit more to the audience and would make your speech more effective. So if you just take care of this, your speech would be at another level. And I wish you all the best. All right. So look at it. Basically, what did I tell the speaker? I said, please use the podium a bit more. That's what I felt. But what did I say? I said it in a way which makes it look like, yes, you're good, but just take care of this and you'll be better. All right. So that's the way you basically take care of constructive feedback. Okay. Now, coming to evaluation speech structure, how many of you or your kids enjoy the Oreo biscuits or the Oreo ice cream sandwiches? Any of you? Yeah. So my son is the biggest fan of Oreo, to an extent where whenever I pick up Oreo for him, he makes me pick these up, but he opens the biscuits and he just licks the cream and he gives me the biscuits to eat. So I tell him that, what's the use of just having the biscuits? You've eaten the entire cream. But anyways, that's just on a light note. But the reason I've shown you this Oreo biscuit is because whenever you are evaluating, I want you to picture an Oreo biscuit in front of your eyes. Okay. Now, how this goes is you've got a brown biscuit on top, you've got a brown biscuit down, and you've got the cream in the middle. Okay. So the brown biscuit on top is the part where you give positive reinforcements to your target speaker when you start evaluating. Okay. You say that, dear target speaker, you are amazing with A, B, C, D, E, whatever you wish to talk about, the content, the language, the delivery, you can talk about those. Once you are done with that, you move to the cream. The cream is the chili on top. If you remember, the cream is your recommendations. So that's where you're going to tell your target speaker that if you just take care of ABC, you talk about A, you talk about B, you talk about C. These are the parts where you can slightly improve with your delivery, and your speech would move up another level if you just take care of that. So you've given your recommendations, but you don't end there, because you never end on a chili note, right? You end on a sweet note, right? So then comes back the biscuit, the second layer of the biscuit down. That's when you tell your target speaker that, overall, dear target speaker, your speech was amazing. You did really well with these things. A, B, C, D, E, whatever you mentioned, it's a summary, right? You did really well with these things. You just take care of A, B, C, and you're going to come back and burn the stage. You're going to do amazing. All right. So that's how I end my evaluation, by again motivating the speaker to do better. Okay. So there's the top chocolate layer, which is for positive reinforcements. There's the cream in the middle, which is the recommendations that push up the speaker's speech. And then there is the summary right down the lower biscuit, which tells the target speaker that he has done well. And if he just takes care of ABC, it's going to do really well. All right. So that's what this is about. Now, quickly taking you through what's a evaluation worksheet. Okay, now the reason I've put this slide across is because a lot of people wonder, how exactly do you note down during evaluations? Okay, now when you have a target speaker speaking, this is how I used to do it. I have a target speaker speaking. I would just keep noting down a few things, and then while noting down, I would lose track on what's happening on the speaker, what the speaker is speaking. So I would miss out a few things. All right. And then I would keep noting things. And then when I would come to evaluate, I would hold that paper in my hand, and I would say one thing, and then I would miss out something else. And it would be a complete confusion for me as an evaluator. These are my initial days. Okay. Now, once I learned the process of how this is done, and I got better at it, this is what I have concluded, and this is what I do even today for my speech evaluations. Now, for all of you, can you see my screen clearly? Please show me a thumbs up. You can? Okay, fantastic. So this is how I want you to use, or rather evaluate. For all the evaluators, even today, you have 3 evaluations today. So those evaluators, please make note of this, okay? So you have a paper in front of you on which you're going to write your evaluations. So divide that into 4 quadrants, okay? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how the screen looks. When you listen to the target speaker speaking, if you like certain points that you want to mention later to your target speaker, note that down in quadrant 2, where you see highlights on top, on the right top. Just keep noting points. Okay. For example, you can say language and write a point. Okay. You can say body language. You can say eye contact. You can say, any positive or good highlights you want to mention it on that quadrant, just in one point. Okay. If you find points where you want the target speaker to improve, mention that in the quadrant below that. You can see the recommendations that I've mentioned there on the quadrant just below. Just write down those points. Just mention 1 or 2 points there, or 3 points, how many more points you want to mention in points. Okay, so that's how you mention your recommendations. There are certain points which you may want to address, which may not exactly fit into highlights or recommendations. So you are not sure whether you want to include that. No, not sure. Put them into observations while the speech is going on. And see that there are quick notes. You're not writing sentences, because when you go to write sentences, you lose track of the speech. And your attention towards the speech has to be very, very, very precise. So just make quick dot points. Okay. Once you read the point later, you should be able to recall what happened in that point. Okay. So you write that in observations. Conclusion is also a very important part of evaluation. Okay. So in the conclusion, if there is something you want to say to connect back to the speech, you should mention that in the conclusion quadrant that you can see here. Write down on the down left part of your screen. Okay. So basically you have 4 quadrants: the highlights, the recommendations, the conclusion right there, and the observations on top. Now, what happens when you make your worksheet in this manner? The benefit of this is that you have structured your thoughts. So when you start speaking from the top right, because you start with the highlights. Then you move towards the recommendations, which is already mentioned there in the recommendations. And then you move towards summarizing and your conclusion. And whichever parts from the observation you want to pick out and put into these blocks, you can. Okay. Try this. You will realize the difference vis-a-vis just writing points randomly as the speech goes on. You will realize the difference because you will have such structured thoughts as an evaluator that will be very easy for you to deliver an evaluation then, once you have this in place. All right. So just keep that in mind. So this is what an evaluation worksheet looks like. One very important part I wanted to mention to you all is the summary. Please don't forget that evaluation summaries are very, very, very important. A lot of evaluators miss out on summary. They talk about the highlights, they talk about the recommendations, and just say, okay, bye. But you have to put that last brown biscuit of Oreo back down, which is the summary. And you have to summarize nothing new. You have to summarize what highlights you had spoken about, what recommendations were there, and then motivate the speaker for the next speech. So do keep in mind, all evaluators, please summarize your speeches as well. All right. And that brings me to an end of a quick, you can say, a workshop on effective evaluation. I guess we just have about a minute or two. So I'm here in case you want to discuss something. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Prince DOS DTM. That was indeed a very informative session, and I think it'll be helpful in the next coming sessions for us as well. Moving on to the educational session, we have interesting bunch of prepared speeches waiting. We have 4 speakers, not so usual, and 4 lucky evaluators who will be able to apply the teachings from today's workshop into practice. All the best speakers and evaluators. Our first speaker for today is none other than our Madam President. Speakers, our Madam President, Toastmaster Kavita Raja, who is an accountant by profession and the mother of 2 princesses. Her topic is my first reading experience, and it is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Wahiba Abdul Qadir. I request Toastmaster Wahiba to read out the purpose statements. Over to you, Toastmaster Wahiba.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Kavita Rajmanikam's speech. So she is giving her level 3 project, elective project, connecting with storytelling. The purpose of the speech is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or a speech that is a story. Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish my speaker, Toastmaster Kavita Rajmanikam, all the very best and do well. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wahiba. Without further ado, let's listen to the speech. The topic is my first reading experience. Over to you, Toastmaster Kavita.
Am I audible? Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Today, I am going to give my speech on my project, Connect with Storytelling. So, what story shall I tell? Many was running into my mind. Shall I talk this? Shall I talk that? But I'm not getting any proper content. So, under a deep search and thinking, finally, I came to a conclusion. Why don't I share my first reading experience? So, fellow Toastmasters, are you ready? I'm going to begin the story. To share my experience, I want to go back to my college period. I'm Kavita. I'm middle bencher doing my BCom. Most importantly, average student. To talk about my reading, whenever I read my accounts, commerce, economics, after 5 or 10 minutes, I feel sleepy. I don't know how it comes, but most of the time, I swear, other than my subjects, I never ever tried other books. Near to my home, my neighbor, Brother Santosh, was staying with his family. Such a nice and obedient fellow. Very good manner. I often get scoldings from my mom. I'm always easygoing girl. I always get scolding in this year and let it go in this year. Things were going like this. One fine day, I saw Brother Santosh was packing all his book in a cotton box. I was so happy. I ran to him and I asked, Brother, are you going to shift your home? He said, no, he don't have place to keep all the books, so he want to donate few books to the library. The great heart, I said, okay, well done, good job. I just thought to leave the place. Brother Santosh called me, took few books and gave to me. I was in a terrible shock. He told me, Kavi, just try it. It was a nice collection. Definitely you will love. No, brother, I don't like these books. Please, you can have it. Whatever I'm telling, he's not listening to me. My mother is staring at me. So I could not say anything. With a heavy heart, I collected all the books and bring it to my home and kept in one place. I didn't touch the book. Things were going like this. Whenever I saw Brother Santosh, the next question, Kavi, did you read books? Me. I'm busy, brother. Little library is a retreat. At certain point, I felt myself very guilty. He's keep on asking. So let me have a glance, and with the key points, somehow I can manage it. I was planning like this. So I took a very thin book and started reading. I first read the first page, then I jumped to the middle page. It was a crime novel book. When I jumped to the middle page, I could not able to get key points. I was confused. So again, I came from the beginning, then I started reading. 2.5 hours, I didn't move anywhere. For the first time, I read a book. I didn't feel sleepy. I didn't went to restroom. I was in a terrible shock that I have completed one full book. My emotions, Appa, I could not tell it in words. It was a crime novel. Who will be the culprit? The curiosity made me to sit in front of the book and doesn't make me to move anywhere. Who will the culprit? Next, what will happen to the girl? Many characters. Even I was traveling along with the characters. After finishing the book, I could not able to come back from the book. Still, I was traveling in the story. My heartbeat after finishing the book, it was like, what an emotions. My first book reading experience was really, wow, Kavita, you have done it. I was so happy. After that, I became a great fan of Mr. Crime novel writer, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, who has completed still now 1,500 crime novels. And many directors took him as an inspiration and done many thriller movies. So all became super duper hit. Now, I am not seeing whether it is a thin book or a big size. I became a book reader. Whatever book it is, I'm so happy. In this place, I seriously want to say thanks to Brother Santosh. I don't know where he is, but still here I'm talking about him. So thank you for that. And I hope that Toastmaster have all enjoyed my story. Please, whatever book, I felt the magic when I read the book. So I want you all to try, whether it can be a romantic book or an adventure book or an inspirational book or whatever book, just try it and feel it. The magic really you will feel. Over to the Toastmaster that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. Indeed, the experience that books take us, that different world is another experience. Okay. Moving on, next we have Safa Fatima, Toastmaster Safa Fatima, with a quite interesting topic, the doppelganger of past life. And Toastmaster Rajamanikam will be evaluating the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Raja.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Sorry for some pictures. We are having both laptop. Today, I was Today our Toastmaster speaker, Safa Fatima. The purpose of this project is for the member to present speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. On that, all the best, our Toastmaster Safa Fatima. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Toastmaster Safa Fatima, the doppelganger of past life. The doppelganger of past life, Toastmaster Safa Fatima. Over to you.
How many of you here have tried to find this perfect caption for their Instagram post? Well, I went through the same thing, trying to find this perfect caption that would summarize my life. However, I couldn't find any, so I continued watching my favorite sitcom series. And just in time, the lead actor said a line that totally resonated with me. In a way, we are all doppelgangers of our past lives. Good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Fatima Sahar. Now, do you know which is the land of coconuts?
Kerala, don't say.
Yeah, it's Kerala. So my homeland is Kerala. However, I was born and brought up in Bahrain. I completed my education from a co-ed school, and just last year I joined IGNO for its BA English and Public Administration program. Now that's all about me. Let me tell you something about my childhood. As a child, I was a very talkative and naughty little girl. My mom used to tell me that whenever she used to feed me, I'll open my mouth, and instead of swallowing it, I'll simply keep it in my mouth. In fact, I was so talkative that I almost got sent to the principal's office for talking and disturbing the whole class. As for my ambition, when I was in grade 1 or 2, we had this activity where we had to fill up our dream job. So all my friends filled it up with aspiring ambitions like doctor, engineer, astronaut, pilot. So I was like, even let me fill it with the common and most used profession of doctor. Little did I know what life had in front of me. Among all the subjects, English topped them all, and here I am, an English student. Now, when I was in high school, I turned out to be this little more shy and reserved person. And I was really good in writing, but however, I would back out from almost all opportunities of public speaking, be it speeches and debates, etc. And I still remember going to the principal's office. My heart used to pound 90 to 100 beats just knocking at the door. And last year, after my exams, I attended an interview. And I was sweating the whole time. Then I took another interview, a second interview, and I was a little less nervous. And that's when I got the catch. I had to put myself in such nervous and sweaty situations. I had to do the things that would scare me, like being over here. But right now, I'm pretty much able to do almost anything that I set my mind to. In a way, over time, eventually, we all become our own doppelgangers, completely different people who look just the same. The naughty and talkative little me is definitely a doppelganger of the shy and the reserved me. The shy and the reserved me is definitely a doppelganger of the person who I am right now, giving her first icebreaker speech. So, Toastmasters, I would like to conclude by saying that we shouldn't be afraid of change. We should try to change and evolve and be the better version of ourselves. And with all your support, I aspire to one day be a motivational speaker. And that's it. Thank you all for listening to me. Over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Safa Fatima. No verses, sir. Next up, we have Toastmaster Malavika, the person with the cutest smile ever. She'll be talking to us about women empowerment, and Toastmaster Rinosh Thomas, our club coach, will be evaluating the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Rinosh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My speaker, Toastmaster Malavika Santosh, is attempting her level 1 project. And the purpose of the project is for her to present a speech on any topic. receive feedback and apply this feedback to a second speech. I wish my speaker all the very best, and I special note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Malaviga. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rinosh. Toastmaster Malavika, are you ready? Toastmaster Malavika Santosh, Women Empowerment. Women Empowerment, Toastmaster Malavika Santosh. Over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters and fellow speech crafters. Today I am here to present Women Empowerment speech. Indian culture gives women the utmost respect. Many of our goddesses are female, and they have been worshipped by many, as a deity by many faithful people. The goddess of wealth is Lakshmi. The goddess of strength and power is Durga. The goddess of wisdom is Saraswati. Women are the epitome of wealth and power. Women play an important role in the society, and the whole family is dependent on women for their daily activities. They play the role of mother, aunt, wife, teacher, and friend, etc. Nurse all at the same time while catering to everybody's needs. Then, quality education is the key to women's empowerment. The women who are in a job also have to fulfill their job responsibilities while managing home and family. Then some of the acts passed by the Parliament are Equal Remuneration Act, Commission of Sati Prevention Act, Maternity Benefit Act, etc. Male child is always encouraged by the family to go to work, while the female children are told to learn about household works. Many women are being oppressed by the male members in their family and society. It is also common in India. There are many democratic practices and sexual violences, etc. As we all know, India is a male-dominated society where males are told to go to work and females are solely responsible for family care and live at home. Some of the social reformers are Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Acharya Vinoba Bhave, and Swami Vivekananda, etc. They have raised their voices to uplift Indian society girls through the Raja Rammohan Roy's continuing efforts to eradicate Sati Prathas ill custom. In order to really give empowerment to women, the true meaning of women empowerment will be achieved when gender inequalities will be eliminated. More and more number of women are getting a quality education. We need to give equal pay to men, equal opportunities for women as equal to men, and as equal to also equal to women. We look forward to such a nation. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malavika. With that, the next and the last, we have Toastmaster Nasima PN with the topic, Can COVID-19 Change My Life? And the speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Regina Ismail. Over to you, Toastmaster Regina.
Good evening, Toastmasters, distinguished guests. My speaker, Toastmaster Nasima, she's going to pursue a speech on the topic, Can COVID-19 Change My Life? We all have some experiences during these pandemic situations. So let's also listen her experiences too. She's going to do here the level 1 project. So let's welcome Toastmaster Nasima to do her speech. Over to you, MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Regina. Toastmaster Nasima, can COVID-19 change my life? Can COVID-19 change my life? Toastmaster Nasima.
Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today I am going to share some thoughts that I quote from COVID-19 pandemic lockdown life. COVID-19 changed my life. COVID-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic loss to human worldwide. It took your loved ones, your festivals, your get-togethers. COVID-19 does not discriminate. It could hit any of us, no matter where we belong to. What made even worse were the exaggerating and fake news people kept spreading all over social media. Although it is pandemic, it taught us some lessons too. In the early days of lockdown, my husband started work at home. Kids started their online classes. I had to take care of my daily routines as well as their classes too. We were occupied at that time, but I never sobbed over my busy schedule. He never grumbled about the delayed lunch. We could observe each other that we were doing our best. I spent most of my time with kids. They wanted parents to sit with them even when they are watching their favorite videos and playing video games. They miss their friends. They needed us to share their thoughts, spend their valuable time. In the early days of online classes, we were skeptical about whether we could make it or not. But within a couple of days, we got used to it. This pandemic also taught us things that we thought are important, not important at all. My brother's wedding took place during this lockdown. Only a few people were allowed to the party. He's my only brother. I missed that event. It's okay. Life is simple. We made it entangled. Human being is a socialized creature. That's why most of us underwent anxiety or stress during the lockdown. I realized the importance of family during these days. I had a good time with my family. It was nice to have everyone gathering at a table again, just for talk to. And I developed some new pastimes during those days. I enhanced my reading. Watching the news, I improved my language. Life has changed by COVID-19. We have to accept that, learn to swim along the ways, not against. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nasima. With that, we come to an end of the educational session. May I request the timer to give out the timer reports for the speeches?
Thank you, Master of the Ceremony. Kavita Raja took 6 minutes. Toastmaster Safa Fatima took 4 minutes, 2 seconds. And Toastmaster Malavika took 4 minutes, 1 second. Toastmaster Nasima took 4 minutes, 1 second. I think all are eligible to voting. Shall I start voting?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Please, can you vote?
Toastmaster Kavita is not included there.
Yeah.
No, she's doing project, so no problem. Cool.
Okay,
They are calculating only icebreaker speech. No problem.
Okay.
I'm closing my poll. 3, 2, 1. Back to Toastmaster Ruth.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Okay. We've been listening to intense content for a quite long time now. I know you've been tired thinking what makes you successful in life. Don't worry, I have the solution. To make the mood lighter, I have Toastmaster Nasha Sausan, our joke master for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, TM Rusby. Oh. Okay, is everyone ready for interesting jokes? Okay. Okay. This is a riddle. Okay, I want everyone to answer it. Okay. Who is the king of school supply? I repeat, who is the king of school supply? Anyone can answer.
Is it ruler?
Okay, who is that?
Me, Safa.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay.
What is the answer?
The ruler. Okay. What two keys can't open any door? I repeat, what two keys can't open any door? Anyone?
I
Pass?
think one is communication.
No. Okay, pass.
Monkey and donkey.
Oh, it's correct. Monkey and donkey. Very good. Okay, next question. Why you like online classes? Pass.
We can do anything in the online classes.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. Nice.
Of the class, we can record and we can post maybe.
Okay. Did I say?
We are always on.
You have freedom of your dressing.
Because a teacher can disappear anytime.
Sorry, Toastmaster Nasha, we could not hear you. Could you repeat that? It's breaking in between.
I guess. Yeah.
Internet issue.
You can repeat the answer once again.
Yeah, you can hear me.
It's
Toastmaster
echoing.
Nasha, can you speak again? Just want to check.
1 second. Yeah, now you can hear me.
Oh, this is better.
Yeah. Okay. Because a teacher can be stuck, mute, and even disappear anytime.
Any teachers over here?
Yeah, any teachers over here, please.
You need to get excused.
Sorry. Okay. Next question. What positive acts do you observe during coronavirus lockdown? I repeat, what positive aspect do you observe during the coronavirus lockdown?
Negative.
Online exams.
Okay.
I think negative. Is that true?
No. Pass.
Go ahead.
Pass. Yeah. Online class where kids get parents' mobile a long time without checking.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. I hope all enjoyed my joke.
Thank you, Nasha. You were successful in making everyone smile. Thank you for that. Okay, we move on to the main session of the evening, the evaluation. I request our general evaluator, Toastmaster Alraz Kuni, to take over. Over to you, sir.
Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rusby. That was an excellent performance by all the role players. As a general evaluator, I'll be evaluating the whole meeting and giving my recommendations upon how you can improve the future meetings. I would be helped by the evaluators and role players in giving my evaluation. First of all, I would like to call our first evaluator, Toastmaster Wahiba Abdul Kader, to give our evaluation on the speaker, Toastmaster Kavita Raja's speech, My First Reading Experience.
Once again, good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Kavita Raja, your speech was wonderful. You know what? As a person who loves reading, it was, it was great to know how you started your reading, you know. Throughout the speech, you, you know, you had that vocal variety and gestures connecting, as if we were there, when you told that you are an easygoing girl, like you showed the expressions, that gestures. And throughout the story, like when you told that you, like whenever he used to ask that, have you read the book, and you are like, no, I will do it, I will. And you had that guilty feeling. All these expression, you showed it. So your gestures and that vocal variety was there. And that curiosity you presented, like the girl who never read a book, and when she started reading, she couldn't stop reading. She was so curious. She wanted to know what is the next chapter waiting for her. It is like, a reader lives 1,000 lives. So you showed that, like, you, the curiosity in you. And I felt that you were very comfort. You didn't have any kind of that you were very confident, like the comfort zone was there, like you were speaking, you did not have any other disturbance or tensions on your face. And overall, it was great to hear your experience and how you turn, and the suggestion that you put forward to everyone, that how reading is, a different world is waiting there when you read. So overall, it was great to listen to you. And yeah, I hope you live, many more stories and what you say, like different situations. You go through different situations, as different stories have different, what you say, that the situations that you go through, right? You are present there. So I wish happy reading to you, and thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wahib Abdul Kader, for providing the speaker an excellent evaluation. I'm sure you have taken all the tips given by the evaluation champion, Prince George, seriously. I could see all the tips given by him. You have taken and implemented in your evaluation. There is nothing much I could say about evaluation. Well done, really well done. Next, may I call upon our second evaluator, Toastmaster Rajamanikam, to evaluate Toastmaster Safa Fatima's speech, Doppelganger of Past Life.
Thank you, Toastmaster, General Evaluator Toastmaster Alras. First, I would like to congratulate my speaker. He is delivering first speech, that is icebreaker speech. So small correction, we'll have the timing change of 4 to 6 minutes. Wonderful, Safa, Toastmaster Safa. That title itself creating a curiosity. Today I asked my daughter, she is an expert in phonics. So how to spell these words? Really tough for me to spell these words. After that, she taught that word, she told that word and I translated. So I got this. That word itself creating very, very big curiosity to audience. Wonderful. You are just simply summarize your past to present. How Safa is there. Now what Safa is there. You've done very good job. Your introduction is very well. God's own country with questions that must be in story strategy of the public speaking skill. Well done. Of course, finally, we could like to comment recommendation because we are in public speaking skill. So we are in online. So we must use the stage properly. This level, at least you have to use this, and you have to be deliver the speech while standing. So that is the second point. And moreover, we have to reach our time 4 to 6 minutes. We can use the perfect timing for deliver your icebreaker speech. And overall, you have done very good job. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja, for that excellent evaluation. As you yourself is an evaluation champion, again, I have nothing to say about your evaluation. Wonderful, well done. That motivates the speaker with your valuable evaluation. Next, may I call upon the third evaluator, Toastmaster Inosh Thomas, to give his evaluation for the speaker, Toastmaster Malavika Sandosh, with a speech, Women Empowerment.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My speaker, Toastmaster Malavika Santosh, was attempting her level 1 speech today. Can I see where is my speaker? All right. So I'll give my evaluation. Very good. Nice to see you in 3 parts. One is what I loved about your speech. Second is what I feel could help you improve your speech to the next level. And last, I will summarize my evaluations. So what I loved about your speech is that you spoke a rich content in your speech, and your speech was women empowerment. You told about gender equality, economic independence, women and education, and gave various examples. You told about social reformers like Swami Vivekananda. You also told and gave facts about certain act of the Indian Constitution's 1856 Widow Remarriage Act. So much facts and figures that you had in your speech. I loved that you used that. Secondly, what I loved is that I know your icebreaker speech that when you had given, and now your second speech compared to your icebreaker speech has been a transformational change. You spoke today with more confidence than what you had spoken in your icebreaker speech, and that was one of the evaluation feedback as well. So big round of applause to having taken that very first step, and it's very important. And I kudos Toastmaster Malavika for being that confident speaker you were today. A few recommendations from my side. I'll give you 2 for today, and you can take a note and make use of it in your next speech to enhance it. I would love if you could, during your speech, remove your virtual background as you're giving your hand gestures or body movements. Using virtual backgrounds may restrict that. And I can see that there is a lighting issue while you're on your virtual backgrounds. Preferably if you can avoid using the virtual background while giving your speech, number 1. Number 2, since you give a lot of facts and figures in your speech, I would love if you could give a personal touch. Toastmaster Malavika's touch to the speech, your experiences, your involvement as in women empowerment. Some examples, either during your childhood or maybe in your teens, or maybe right now while you are doing your education as well, or people who are very close to you that you have seen. 1 example or 2 would be more effective. So I think with this, you give a good facts and figures. You were confident in your speech. 2 recommendations to speak without the virtual background, and then give a personal touch to your speech. With these, I'm sure your next speech, you will definitely take this into consideration and make that much more effective. And I'm looking forward to seeing a great speaker in you, Toastmaster Malvi. Thank you, and back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Evaluator Toastmaster Rinosh Thomas. No wonder you are the club coach. You are the perfect coach Indian Academy can have. The evaluations are perfect, to the point, and I hope the speaker takes all the recommendations to improve on our next speech. Now let's move on to the final evaluator, Toastmaster Regina Ismail, to evaluate Toastmaster Nasima speech, Can COVID-19 Change My Life?
Good evening once again. My speaker, Toastmaster Nasima. First of all, I just want to highlight one thing. She presented her speech very clear and very clearly. She presented her speech, and it's really connected with this current situation also. And she shared her mournful experiences during these pandemic situations. As we know that we all have a lot of chances to use efficiently and effectively. Most of the people are doing like that, and most of the people just spoil this beautiful, useful situations. So I have glad to hear that she used this opportunity by reading books and to do all these useful. I think she used this situation very effectively, and I noticed that she also mentioned the importance of family. It's and I just want to recommend one thing, that is, if you express any sad or mournful memories or experiences, try to bring some feelings in your face at least. Here, even you are talking about memories which are not sad memories, even you are so happy to express that. So just listen, just do this kinds of not a correction. It's you can take it as a positive sense too. I just recommend body just listen that. And overall, you did well, Nasima. I like it. I like it so much. Go ahead. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Once again, thank you for that excellent evaluation, Toastmaster Regina Ismail. No wonder I was wondering why a new Toastmaster, or maybe if I'm not wrong, you're not new, but you are among the one of the evaluators who are all champions by themselves here. Now I understand why you are chosen as one of the evaluators. Well done, really well done. Now, let me call upon timer Toastmaster Raja. Can I know the time taken by individual evaluators?
Yeah, thank you once again, General Evaluator Toastmaster Alras. And our evaluator Toastmaster Wahiba took 2 minutes 2 seconds, and Toastmaster Raja Manikam took 2 minutes 50 seconds, and Toastmaster Renosh took 2 minutes 40 seconds, and Toastmaster Regina took 2 minutes.
So
all evaluators are eligible. So back to G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Toastmaster Raja, I'm skeptical of how much time I'm going to take to give my general evaluation to. So I would like to request you, please, the red screen just 1 minute before the end of the general evaluation session, so that I won't overshoot the allotted time.
Sure.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Now may I call upon assignees to give may I call upon Toastmaster Rinosh to give the grammarian report?
Sure. Thank you, General Evaluator, and once again, good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm so happy that the word of the day has been used by a couple of Toast members over here. We have the keynote speaker, DTM Prince George, Our speaker 4, Toastmaster Nasima, and our general evaluator, Toastmaster Alraz, has used the word of the day. I noted good quotes for today. Wearer knows where the shoes pinches. Women are the epitome of wealth and power. And one of the favorite that I loved today, learn to swim along with the waves and not against. A phrase that has been used, positive reinforcement. Then coming to the grammatical uses, I think we are all learning. We are all in the phase of improving ourselves in our grammatical usage. And I think in the coming weeks, coming meetings, we will definitely take note of it and improve our grammatical usage wherever the verb has to be used and noun has to be used, whether it is an adjective and the phrases in the words. I think that all we will definitely take note and improve ourselves. With that, I end my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Grammarian Toastmaster Rinosh, for that wonderful report. I believe that many of you could have used the word of the day. It was very simple and it was very easy to use, skeptical. I wish in future all of you can encourage the grammarian as well. It's very simple. You use the word of the day. It is very important to use the word of the day. So it's very easy that when the word of the day is given, immediately you can note down, okay, where all you can use the word of the day. That will encourage the grammarian as well to give his report. When he gives his report, he will be happy to count the number of words or word of the day was used. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Rinosh. Now may I call upon our accounter, Toastmaster Regina Ismail, to give a report.
Once again, good evening to all. Toastmaster Kavita, she used 6 hours. I'm so glad to see that she tried to reduce as compared to X meetings. And Toastmaster Safa Fatima, she didn't use any hours or ohms. And Toastmaster Malaviga, she used 6 hours. And Nasima, she used 1 hour. Thank you. Over to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Regina, for that wonderful report. I'm happy that you didn't count any of the hours I used. I myself am aware I use so many hours, and I'm still learning to avoid using hours, because these hours and filler words really make our speech, or when we speak, it really doesn't allow us to give a wonderful speech, or the speech looks a bit underprepared, or we look like we are not prepared well to give a speech, because as an accountant, you note down all the hours and give a report that who used how many hours. That will really make them know that, okay, they are using these filler words, and that will encourage them to improve in future, not to use those filler words. Anyway, once again, thank you, Toastmaster Regina Ismail, for that wonderful report. Now let's move on to the final general evaluation session, where I will be giving my comments and overall evaluation of this meeting. After attending many club meetings where the meeting doesn't start on time as per the agenda, and some meetings where the president then himself doesn't turn up even after the sergeant at arms introduces the president, I was really happy to see that the meeting started on time. In fact, the virtual meeting was started half an hour in advance, which is very good practice. I was even more surprised when the president herself was there 30 minutes in advance to make sure there are no technical glitches and the meeting goes as planned as per the agenda. The Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Rusby, started the meeting on time and gave an excellent start to the meeting. She also introduced the president, Toastmaster Kavita, to the club. I'd like to make sure all of you to hold your applause, because if I asked you to give applause to each of the role players, the general evaluation time given to me will be very insufficient. So I would like to request you all to hold your applause till the end of the general evaluation comments. It was also very good to see that the club coach, Toastmaster Rino, stepped into the absent grammarian, Toastmaster Kevin Paul's role by introducing the word of the day and explaining his role. As we all witnessed, we had an excellent workshop done by District Evaluation Champion DTM Prince George. I believe all of us, including myself, benefited a lot in learning how to evaluate like a champion. And I wish all of you, each one of you, really take his tips seriously, because I have personally witnessed all his evaluations, and it's really an honor to listen to his evaluation tips and his evaluation speeches. Thank you once again, DTM Prince George, for conducting this excellent workshop. The first evaluator, Toastmaster Wahiba Abdul Qadir, explained the objectives of the speech in detail, making it easy for attendees to understand the speaker's project details. The first speaker, Toastmaster Kavita, with a speech, My First Reading Experience, gave an excellent speech on how she developed her reading habits. We all need to read, and it's an inspiration from her story, how reading will improve your communication skills. It was very simple and effective speech with very good personal examples. The second evaluator, Toastmaster Rajamanikam, inspired the speaker, Toastmaster Fatima, by giving the objectives of the speech in short. And the second speaker, Toastmaster Safa Fatima, with a speech, icebreaker speech, doppelganger of past life, gave an excellent and thought-provoking speech. Well done, Toastmaster Safa Fatima. The third speaker, Toastmaster Malavika Santosh, gave an excellent speech on women empowerment. In fact, I was from the agenda, I was confused whether she gave her icebreaker speech. As evaluator Toastmaster Rinosh Thomas, when he told that, okay, this is her second speech, then I realized this is not her icebreaker speech. No wonder that was an excellent speech. Well done, Toastmaster Malavika Santosh. And as I said, Toastmaster Regina Ismail, you already proved how good you are at evaluation. While evaluating Toastmaster Nasima's speech, Can COVID-19 change my life? And Toastmaster Nasima, with your icebreaker speech, I guess again it's icebreaker speech, you gave an excellent speech about how COVID-19 changed your life. You all got wonderful and useful inspiration on how you faced your life during this COVID-19. Now, even though today I'm happy and grateful to be a part of an excellent meeting, there are few recommendations I would like to share with you to make your future meetings better. If I'm not wrong, I didn't see any apologies being recorded or reported from members, which usually is a best practice to any Toastmasters club. Make sure you record the apologies and inform the president or the Secretary or VP Education in advance that, okay, these members are apologize and we have to make sure there's someone else to take over that role. Because of the not recording the apologies, I also didn't see the quorum being established. In any Toastmasters club, the quorum needs to be established. And also I didn't see the business session being conducted. This is a part of Toastmasters meeting, business session, even if it is short report from the club officers, is a most important part of a Toastmasters meeting, where the members will be knowing what are the officers like VP Education, Secretary, Sergeant at Arms, what are they doing to improve the club meetings. They need to know from the officers report how the role or the officer's role is done. This will encourage them to take up the role for the next term, and they can also learn a lot from those reports on how to conduct a club meeting. I also noticed that the speakers or the timer are not making sure the speaker has pinned the timer, which would have helped the speaker to present her speech on time without worrying whether she has overshot the allotted time. I also noticed in the agenda, the speech time allotted for icebreaker is 5 to 7 minutes. If I'm not wrong, as per the Toastmaster International Evaluation time criteria for the icebreaker speech, it's 4 to 6 minutes. Even though I know that most of the icebreaker speeches took around 4 minutes, I also recommend them, they know that allotted time is 4 to 6 minutes, and they take the full time because this is an icebreaker speech where the other members will be knowing you, and it will be a chance for you to introduce yourself to your club members and guests. I would have liked to know those icebreakers about how they reach Toastmasters, what is their educational background, what is their goal in life. All these things, these things are explained, or you present these things using your icebreaker speech. So I recommend, or I wish all the icebreaker speeches use this opportunity, use this icebreaker project, to introduce yourself to the club members. Overall, I would say Toastmaster Safa Fatima and Nasima gave an excellent icebreaker speech. And with all these recommendations, I wish Indian Academy Toastmasters Club all the best. And I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and also for giving no chance of being skeptic of the meeting standard you have maintained. An excellent meeting conducted. Well done. I wish you all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raz. We ensure that we'll be taking forward these suggestions. Thank you for those kind words. We're moving on to the evaluators voting now. I request Toastmaster Raja.
Yes, I launched the poll. I think out of 9 of 11, now 10 of 11. Yeah. I'm closing the poll now. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Next, we're moving on to the announcement of the next meeting. I request our VP Education, Toastmaster Nasha Sassan, to take over.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, TM Rusby. Good evening, everyone. For next meeting, we have a humorous workshop. We'll update in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Thank you, Nasha. Excited for that. Coming back to our discussion, yes, our definitions for success was different, right? For some, success means having money, fame, happy family, power, education, good job. But then, have you all noticed something, that it's all in future tense? Now, even if you earn $1 million, you'll keep wanting more. Same goes with all of them. If you gain a lot of power, you'll still need more. If you gain a lot of education, you'll still know there is no end to it. The aim goes higher as we keep gaining them, and thus results in an unending surge of happiness. And by the time you realize that, it will be late already. Me and you, look for happiness. When something bad happens, things don't go according to your plan, you get into a fight, consciously or unconsciously, the question, why me, always pops up. You fall depressed, no hopes left. But then, have you thought it like this? How would you be able to taste the sweetness of happiness if you have never tasted bitterness or sore of the difficulties and sorrows? What is that? Where is that thrill in gaining something? Don't you want to cry? Don't you want to fight or get angry or get tensed? Life is what comprises of all of these, right? What is the point in being happy all the time? Like that bit of happiness after a long wait or cry, or that rejoining after a huge fight. Isn't that the most beautiful? How would you be able to experience these if there were only happiness? Yes, what I'm trying to say is that we do need money, education, power, fame, and everything. It's all important. But don't despair when something goes wrong. That is also part of the plan. And live in the moment. It's not acquiring something that makes my life successful. It's when you're ready to accept everything and not giving place for regrets. I don't want to bore you. Let's move on to the presentation of the awards. Over to you, Madam President. No, over to you, Wahiba.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, before moving to that, Toastmaster Killer Paligada, am I spelling correctly, sir? It's a different name for me.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
You want my opinion?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I was on a call when you called my name. Well, in fact, there is a reason for me to join. I'm doing a research on a topic which is called TSL, Toastmasters second language, which I just want to decode the language is what you are using. So this is one of the reasons. And the second reason, my best friend, general evaluator, he sent me the request to join and see what is happening in Indian Academy Toastmasters. Well, it was really well organized, well conducted. I can feel how much effort President Rajamanikam, Kavita Rajamanikam and Wahiba Abdul Qadir, all they have taken to conduct this meeting. It is exuberant. It was so power-packed. And besides all that, today you have conducted a great evaluation workshop. This is very much interesting. And this workshop definitely encourage every new members. And I could see some ice-breaking happening today, which is a great sign of any Toastmaster. Today, there are so many Toastmaster clubs conducting meeting right from the morning. And Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster, I was especially in YT there, and I was alternatively attending some of the sessions. Well, besides all those, big, fatty, thick club, your club stands out because there are a great novelty, innovations, and practices are there. I love that when the evaluator starts speaking, you spotlight the speaker. It's really wonderful, which we don't see much. Sometimes general evaluators start commenting, they spotlight all the evaluators in the screen, which is again interesting. So there are some innovation. This is what we would like to see. There are people who gone ahead a lot, and those who are flying, those who are flown, which is not very much interesting. I would like to see the things, the phoenixes are coming back, and people are doing their best to mark their positions in Toastmasters International, which is very interesting. So I really enjoyed, especially the jock session. We had a new, answers for all the questions. Like we always hear, communication is a key. So when she asked, what is the two keys? I jumped in and she said, no, it's monkeys and donkeys. Interesting. Then what is the positive in Corona time? We always hear, the negative is the positive. So I jump in and she was saying something else, really interesting. So I thoroughly enjoyed, appreciate Nasha and all these girls who made the ice breaking, like Safa, Malaviga, Nasima, you all did great job. And this is a great start. Certainly, I would like to see after a few meetings, your progress and your achievements. All the best. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Killer. Thank you for the wonderful words. Really, we are actually our speakers all doing their first speech and second speech. They are getting more better and better, and your words really made us to improve more. Thank you so much for the wonderful words. And again, let me call our Year 34 Director Toastmaster Jeannie to give a few words.
All the way from God's own country.
Hello, good evening to everyone. How are you all? As you all know, Indian Academy is our sister club, a sister club of St. Paul Toastmasters. So I'm always here to cheer up you all with my smiles and to, of course, listen to your speeches, evaluations, and everything. So I was here just to cheer up you all and to meet you all behind the camera, but then Raja requested me direct message, Ginny, please wait, we want your blessings. Oh my God, Raja, I give all my blessings to Indian Academy, and I wish all the best to Indian Academy Toastmasters Club, and I wish all the success for your future endeavors. And I could see the speech crafters, which have seen them from April, and the drastic change they all have been through. And I would take this time to really appreciate, and wow, you all are doing a great job. And yes, speech crafters, you all are wow, awesome people. And you are really doing great with the new XCOM team, and of course with the great coach, coaching you. That's right, Grammarian. So all the best to Indian Academy, and my sweet people, my dears, I would always say all the best. And yes, I am talking to you all the way from Kerala now. So wish me all the best as well. Back to you, President. Thank you.
Thank you, Area Director Toastmaster Ginny, for the wonderful words. Thank you so much. And let me call Toastmaster Wahiba for the presentation of awards.
Yes, President. I will share the screen and you can announce it.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Accept our appreciation.
TTM Prince George, as you're not here, but please accept our certificate of appreciation. Thank you so much for the wonderful speech. The next evaluation, we will do much better. Next, evaluation.
Next, best speaker and best evaluation.
Shall we go with accounting?
Yeah.
For the thank you, Toastmaster Alras. Please accept our certificate of appreciation, and thank you for a general evaluator for today's meeting. Surely we will take all your recommendation and we will improve much more in the next meeting. Thank you for the wonderful recommendations. Thank you so much. Please accept our appreciation. I could thank you. We could have gone with the account. No, first time they are getting award. It's okay. Toastmaster Nashima, you have won the best speaker award. Well done, my dear. And let's go for the evaluator. Toastmaster Wagiba, thanks to you.
Actually, thank you for your Toastmaster Kavita, because I evaluated your speech. It was my pleasure evaluating.
You have to say thanks to both of you. Thank you so much. So back to the
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita and Toastmaster Wahiba, and congratulations to all the award winners. May I request everyone, all the participants, to turn on your cameras, as we'll be having a photo session now. Okay.
I think this is okay, right?
It's fantastic. We're all in the classroom. You're making us feel as if we are in Indian Academy now. Who's the teacher? I don't know, but we are ready, sir.
One more surprise. Awards are ready. Yeah, once again. I'm taking
General evaluator and coach, we are the backbenchers, huh?
okay.
Nowadays, backbenchers are only on.
Toastmaster Raja, ready? Smile.
Yes,
Shall we?
yeah. 3, 2, 1. Fine, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja. Okay. Just one more.
Toastmaster of the day, Sergeant at Arms, some comments I missed because as per the recommendation of the evaluation workshop DTM Prince George, I made sure some of the points because if I keep typing, I will not be able to observe the speakers. So I noted few points and I missed those to comment on those points. I don't want all the points to be covered now since we have already concluded the meeting, but there are two things which I want to highlight. One thing, Toastmaster Wahiba Abdul Kabir, I really forgot to mention that, okay, you are also a new Toastmaster evaluator among the senior evaluators like Toastmaster Raja and Toastmaster Rinos. So I also really appreciate the way you evaluated Toastmaster Kavita Raja's speech. And Toastmaster Kavita Raja, I know her as a humorous speaker, and she really must have inspired the joke master or the joke session, Toastmaster Nasha Sausan, who really conducted a really humorous session. But as a humorous speaker myself, I know it's not very easy to be humorous. It's one role which is very hard to play, and today she really did well. Toastmaster Nasha Sausan really did well. The main recommendation I would like to comment is whenever a guest joins the meeting, some of you as a club officer, Toastmaster of the day or Sergeant at Arms should introduce the guest or ask the guest to introduce. That will allow the guest to feel that, okay, he's part of the meeting. So that I missed on my comments to recommend that also. Please note that recommendation as well in your future meetings. Whenever a guest joins your meeting, make sure you ask him to introduce. That's all. Back to you. All the best. I really enjoy it. I wish to attend more meetings in future. Back to you, President Toastmaster Kavita, or back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alraj. Actually, in the last meeting also, I got the same comment. So I told my husband, we have to mention. He only told me that, no, this is already keynote speaker is there. So you could not let us invite them in the end like that. He told me. See, again, I'm getting same mistake.
Alraj, thank you, Alraj.
Welcome, most welcome. Thank you, Toastmaster Renos. Special thanks to you as well for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Back to Indian Academy Toastmaster.
Modi, all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Alraz. Noted. We'll be improving from the next meetings. We're here to improve ourselves, yes, of course. Okay. Remember back when you were a kid, you would just do things that you never thought to yourself, like what are the relative merits of learning baseball versus football? If you wanted to play football, you'll just go and play it. You just ran around the playground and played it. You built sandcastles and played tag and asked silly questions and looked for bugs and dug up grass. Nobody told you to do it, right? You just did it. You were led merely by your curiosity and excitement. And the beautiful thing was, if you hated baseball, you just stopped playing it. Like there was no guilt involved. There was no arguing or debate. You either liked it or you didn't. And if you loved looking for bugs, you just did that. There was no second level analysis of, well, is looking for bugs really what I should be doing with my time as a child? We didn't think like that. Nobody else wants to look for bugs. Does that mean that's something wrong with me? How will looking for bugs affect my prospects? There was no such things. If you like something, you just did it. A child does not walk onto a playground and say to herself, how do I find fun? She just goes and has fun. If you have to look for what you enjoy in life, then you're not going to enjoy anything. And the real truth is that you already enjoy doing something. You already enjoy many things. You're just choosing to ignore them. Introspect. With that, we come to the end of the meeting. I request Toastmaster Kavita Raja to take over. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rusby. Today's session was really wonderful. I really enjoyed the evaluation session given by our DTM, Prince George. What a perfect, the points we have to keep that we have to improve more on evaluation for our new beginners. For myself, still I'm scared to take evaluation role because I need to do much practice. Now these points make me to develop much better in the next. So sure, in the next meeting I will take an evaluation role and I will do better because he has motivated me a lot. He has given me points. All those points I will keep in mind and I will improve myself. So thank you, DTM Prince George, for that. And I want to say thanks to all our speakers. Before everyone scared to give speeches, now all coming forward to give each role and coming forward to improve themselves. It's really wonderful. It's very happy. And with this, I attend the meeting number 124. Thank you.